Hello, this is Brian Rowe with Mythic MTG Tech looking at the top 10 Gatecrash cards. This video is being done just as Gatecrash is coming out, so please take it a little bit easy on me if I miss one or two cards, but I want to get this out before everybody knows what the actual best cards are. These are my guesses at the best cards from Gatecrash. They're also the cards that I personally am choosing to speculate on, pick up a few extra copies, and use those to trade into better stuff later. Now, before we jump in, I also want to point out that we're working specifically on new cards. I know that the Shocklands are incredible. The Shocklands will definitely hold their value over time, and if I was looking at reprinted cards also, the Shocklands would definitely be on the list. I'm a little bit skeptical on the long-term value, though, of the Shocklands with the new announcement from Dragon Maze. In Dragon Maze, the Shocklands from Gatecrash and from RTR are going to be reprinted in the spot where Basic Land would be, along with a Mythic land. So who knows exactly what the value of those will be. In the honorable mentions category, I've got 4 cards here which I'm going to watch really closely, and one that I just hope it's good. But unsummon seems to be a bit of a problem in the current environment, and the current environment is also extremely fast. So I don't think these are going to take off right away, but I think they will take off over time. Experiment 1 is a 1/1 that has Evolve on it, so it could easily become a 2/2 or a 3/3 in the first few turns. This could be a Wild Nacatl type card that does a lot of damage early and helps green aggro. Cloudfin Raptor also has that same issue, but both of these are susceptible to unsummons. Obadiah here, or I probably mispronounced him horribly, is my pick for the best card if the environment slows down. Burning Tree Emissary has some potential, and this new Swords to Plowshare type Edict is also really good. If you'll notice on this list, I've left off both of the Planeswalkers. Both Planeswalkers are nice. I think they're incredible cards for EDH, but neither of them looks to be anything like a Liliana the Veil or a very powerful Planeswalker that's going to see a lot of play in Standard. I think these are both well-designed, fun cards, perfect for EDH. They'll probably make my EDH top 10 list, but I don't think they're Standard in playable or playable in Legacy or Modern, which is something that bothers me a little bit about this set. The set seems actually really light on the Legacy or Modern playable cards overall. In the number 10 spot here, I've got Blind Obedience. It basically makes everything from your opponents come into play tapped, and it has Extort. Extort is a great looking ability. It will allow you to get through a few extra points of damage, and this causing your opponent's creatures to come into play tapped is great for a tempo type strategy. I'm going to be playing this in red, white, blue. It's got a wonderful potential there. In the number 9 spot, I've got Frontline Medic, and I know Frontline Medic has been popular with a lot of people. I think it's a great answer to Rosalia Sphere E, which is on this list later, and it's also just a wonderful way to keep your creatures alive. It also works well against Sphinx's Revelation and Bonfire of the Damned, 2 of the most powerful cards in Standard right now. I think this is really going to keep its power to Standard, but it's a great Standard card, a 3/3 for 3 with 2 really nice abilities on it. Wonderful design wizards. In the number 8 spot here, I've got 2 Boros cards, and as you'll notice, this list is full of Boros cards. Firemane Avenger is going to be great if people can figure out a way to use it. The 3 toughness is a little bit difficult, but the 6 life swing is incredible. The Reckoner here I really like early on. He's a way to get through some extra damage. The first strike ability is really nice, and games early on in this Standard environment are going to be decided by who can do the most damage quickly. In the number 7 spot here, I've got Ghor-Chan Rampager. This is just an incredible card. A 4/4 for 4 doesn't seem that great, but the Blood Rush ability of being able to discard it for +4/+4 and trample is exactly what aggro decks want, and if you need a big creature, also, you've got that option at the forecasting cost spot. I love the discard ability here. Can't be countered in most situations also. and this is the type of ability that helps you get around counter spells and do some extra damage. I could see this guy making some minor waves in Modern also, maybe in an Infect deck or a really good aggro deck. In the number 6 spot here, I've got Simic Charm, and I think the charms were really up to notch in this set overall. The +3/+3 on this is really nice for aggro decks or even control decks as a way to get through a few extra points of damage. The hexproof to all of your individual permanents till end of turn is great. Also, the unsummon type ability is wonderful. If we see unsummon go out in M14, then this card has a really good chance of taking up its spot. I can see using a Snapcaster to get this back in several situations. The utility of this lends it to several different types of decks, because you can use it to slow things down or you can use it to speed things up and do some extra damage. Wonderful design on this charm. I also really like the Damier Charm. Now, I know this is going to get a little bit of ire from other people that I put this so high, but the Dimir Charm really allows a blue-black deck to stabilize. The killing a creature is extremely relevant. Also, it kind of acts as a time walk in some situations, maybe in a tempo or a control situation, where you look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck and give them the least useful of them. It's like double fate sealing there, and it's really nice. I also like the idea that it feeds your graveyard for Snapcasters. Prime Speaker, and I'm going to destroy his last name, Zegana here, is great. The ability to draw cards is something that, yes, I do personally overvalue, but this guy, after a Thragtusk, could be a wonderful powerhouse on the board. If you're going to go for a heavy creature strategy, this is one of the guys that I would look at fitting into your deck, especially if the environment slows down and red is not as predominant as it's going to be in the early days. Number 3 here, I've got another Boros card, the Boros Charm. This is one of the few cards that I think is going to make a splash in Modern at all, because the ability to make your permanents indestructible is great against Abrupt Decay. Your creatures are better. The 4 damage is always relevant in an aggro type situation, and Double Strike may even be relevant if you're playing something with larger powers. This could be a lot of damage overall. This is a wonderful charm, probably the best from both of the sets. In the number 2 spot here, I've got Skullcrack. It's another red card. This is the type of card red really needs to deal with all of the life gain that's out there right now. This is the type of card that hurts Thragtusk a lot. This is the type of card that takes Sphinx's Revelation and puts it back in its place. The ability to negate the life gain at a low casting cost is extremely important. Because this is at the 2 casting cost spot, this could even see some play in Modern. I think that red has really gained a lot in Modern from this set between Boros Charm and Skullcrack. So I would definitely watch out for red in Modern and in Standard, at least in these early days, till people figure out how to stabilize and how to deal with the threats that are coming through with the really fast red decks. In the number 1 spot here, I've got Rozalia's Sphere. This card is incredible. It's a nice way to get through some extra damage. It is an instant. It's great in combat because it allows you to do that damage to several different targets, but if this was just a damage spell, it would not have made it to the number 1 spot on my list. Let's take a closer look at the last line of this card. Players dealt damage this way cannot cast non-creature spells this turn. That is incredible. That is an Abance type effect or a Silence type effect, which moves this card from just a wonderful aggro card into a card that can stop combo decks and stop miracle cards. So when the miracle trigger is on the stack, you hit them with Rozalia's Sphere and they cannot terminus away your team. That is incredible. Similarly, if an opponent is starting to go off in a Storm combo deck, you play this against them and they can't cast non-creature spells for the rest of the turn. This allows it to possibly have an impact in both Modern and maybe even Legacy. I love this card. This is a really nice design. It's exactly what red-white needs to interact with more decks long term.
Thanks. This has been Brian Rowe with Mythic MTG Tech, looking at the top 10 Gatecrash cards. If I missed any really good ones, please let me know. Leave some comments. Also, I just wanted to say thank you. I've just hit 100 subscribers. I'll be doing a bonus video coming up here in the next week or so. The top in the voting right now over at Magic the Seattling looks like it's either going to be on Jund, which I just did a minor video on, or more likely a cubing video. So look forward to that coming up here in the next week or so. Thanks. Take care. Please subscribe if you like the videos.